How we doing, everyone? Let me just get comfy. How have we been and how's our weeks going? Selena, you got it on?
Yeah.
Today, we're talking about relationships and responsibility. We found it was a massive topic that a lot of questions come through. But first, we'd like to know, how many people are on at the moment? Anyone on particular on?
Mm-mm.
Is there anybody, while we're waiting, if you're on at the moment, what does relationship responsibility mean to you? Let's get thoughts and opinions. Leave it in the comments. We come back to it at a later time afterwards. So what is relationship responsibility to you? So as we said, we're going to be talking about relationship responsibility. We've gone through the questions that have been given to us. And again, we picked out the 5 of the questions that repeated themselves mostly.
And we've taken out as well, he, her.
Yeah.
So it's
very generic. So they could become from, any of the questions could come from a man or a woman. Some of them might sound like they're from women or men, but you'd be surprised at some of the questions that come through and where we've changed it. So don't always assume that it's a man or a female putting these questions forward, okay? So is there anybody else? There's a few people on. So the people that have just joined us, if you don't mind putting in the comments, what is relationship responsibility to you? Let's see what your difference of opinions are and see where they're at.
That was the first question before they start writing it. So the first question that we had in was, my partner is complaining I don't do enough around the house. Well.
Yeah. I get it all the time. I get it all the time. So this is a big...
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, that's what they all
Telling
say,
you.
people. That's what they all say. But that was a big question. Like I said, all these questions are very popular, but that was a massive one. Coming from people who are saying that their partner's always complaining about they're not doing enough around the house. And I'll put it to you, you might not be doing enough. Just because you're going to work don't mean you get to not participate in homely chores as well.
Yeah, it doesn't mean to say that because you're working, you don't have to help out. But at the same time, I don't always agree with a 50-50. It doesn't always have to be a 50-50 balance. Like when I was on maternity leave, for instance, I wouldn't expect you to help out with the baby overnight because I knew you had to wake up early in the morning. So I would take on that chore, that responsibility, so you didn't have to, worry about it. So it doesn't always have to be 50-50 and tit for tat. I washed up, so you have to dry up.
No, I think it's definitely a relationship, and it will come out in every conversation that we have about any topic. A relationship is a compromise, and a compromise doesn't always mean, like Selena said, 50-50. A relationship is sometimes you don't get your own way full stop because someone else is doing something different, and you might not want to do that. I pick up the dog doo-doo in the garden. Selena does everything else. It's a damn good thing, isn't it? That's a good thing. But obviously, jokes aside, we need to kind of sit down with your partner and discuss what the real issues are, because they might be feeling home alone and feel like they've got no one to turn to when they need help. So you're coming in from work, not helping out around the table, then going straight to bed. So it might not even be the fact that they're not doing anything around the house. It could be feeling that they're alone. So the main thing that we should do when we're talking about your partner complaining about anything, it doesn't matter if it's about the house, we should be dealing with what's up. Is it something emotional? Is it something physical? Can we sit down and have this conversation to actually get to the core root of the issue?
But anybody that's doing the majority of the chores in the house, for somebody to do something as little as wash up a cup or take the rubbish out without being asked, that can mean the world to that person. That can mean like, oh my God, they're actually thinking about me. I don't have to do that. That's something that I don't have to think about doing. So it could be the smallest thing.
So taking away that responsibility from that person. So if you've got the weekends off work, helping around the house, you get up a bit earlier. Just so you lot know, no shit, I wake up early on a Saturday sometimes, and I do tidy up. I tidy up.
Go out.
I tidy up, right? But little things like that. Do something around the house if you're able to. But if you're unable to and you feel like the complaining is too much, then work out what the problem is. Take responsibility of that situation, and that's the theme of today. Taking responsibility for the relationship. So if your partner is upset about something, take responsibility for the relationship and find the root cause to the problem.
Absolutely. The next question, has anyone said anything? No. The next question is, why when my partner is wrong, they turn it round on me? The old flipperoo.
The old flipperoo. One, again, because this is all responsibility, everything will always start at ownership and responsibility. So yes, your partner might flip everything round on you, probably because it's you. I'm joking. But realistically, they might have a problem with taking ownership or feel like everything, a lot of pressure on them. So you need to find space and time to actually have a proper communication. I think we was talking about it when we was talking about this conversation. We were saying about arguments and finding the correct place, because sometimes when we're arguing face to face and we're really irritated and uptight about something, I refuse to admit that I'm wrong in any way, shape or form.
100%.
So picking your battle at the right time as well. So if you know the argument, if you know your partner's like that, then maybe you need to take a step back and say, okay, before this gets defensive, let's have a conversation somewhere else. Again, this conversation is about you taking responsibility of your relationship. So,
and it goes back as well to setting the mood, making sure you're in the right space to have these conversations.
Yeah.
Having these conversations in Tesco is not going to work. Having these conversations in front of the kids is not going to work. You need to make sure you're in a space where it's just the both of you. You're both in the right frame of mind. Probably refrain from drinking, and do it that way, because mood is everything.
Yeah, mood is everything. So if you believe your partner's always flipping around, wait for the right time to have a conversation about the issue and specifically draw up that issue. And one of the best things that I'm very good at is when my lovely partner here, Selena, brings something up, I say when.
I started writing down dates and times, so I can say, this is the date.
I'm not saying keep a diary. I'm not saying keep a diary of everything, but if somebody's that flips it around all the time, they need to be reminded that they're actually doing something. So if it's an issue that you've allowed to happen too often, that means the boundary wasn't set there in the first place, so it's become the issue. But if it's something that you brought up,
but also in that, that's why it's always important to resolve things, because sometimes you can you just said pick your battles, which is true as well. But sometimes when we sweep things under the rug, and then, so I'm still fuming on this thing that happened a couple of months ago, you're none the wiser, and then it comes out later, and I've got all this ammunition for you when you thought, we got past that.
Yeah.
So I could be fuming about one thing, but then I'm thinking about that whole other 10 things that you've done to piss me off.
And I don't even know anything about it because I've not relayed it back.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're flipping it back, you haven't dealt with it or addressed it at the time. And when we say find the right occasion, that doesn't mean sweep it under the cover. That means wait 10 minutes, wait an hour. Don't wait 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Wait for the right time in the time. Don't wait months and weeks, because myself, as a gentleman saying it now, if I've done something to annoy Selena, I ain't going to remember it tomorrow. Especially she will, because it emotionally got to her. But me, it didn't do nothing to me. She's going to say, Thomas, you did that to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I went to bed last night. So bring it up, find the right time, make sure we're not sweeping anything under the cover. And you take responsibility and ownership of that situation. So you're almost planning it. So, okay, he's denied that and says he's not doing that because he's flipping it back on me. Next time, okay, I'm going to pull him on it. Don't wait. Pull him on it then and there. Say, you've done this.
Gareth said, don't argue with her, dude. She'll slap you, silly. You know,
mate,
Gareth.
learned that already, man. we're in a relationship deep. No point in arguing. Next question. Question 3, people.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, we always argue about finances. We don't earn enough to cover the bills. You want to start with that one?
No, you can go ahead.
I can start with that one? Okay. So, first off, I'm going to start with yourself. Whoever it was that put this question forward, whether it be male or female in the relationship. If you're not earning enough money, are you budgeting? Have you worked out what your costs are going out and coming in? Do you know what's coming out of your bank account on a monthly basis? Sometimes, and I get done with it sometimes, you have little $2.99 things that you pay no attention to that are coming out of your account on a monthly basis, and you have 20 or 30 of them. Fair enough, people on here are going to say it's only 60 quid, you're not going to notice that. But if you're saying it's finances, 60 quid could be the difference between a meal for a week and not having a meal for a week. So are you watching your finances, what's coming in and out of your account, and what you can cut down?
I'm gonna lie, I think I still got a BlackBerry insurance coming out of my account.
That's what I mean. BlackBerry, what's that? BlackBerry got bankrupt 10 years ago. Then I've got Audible $6.99 a month, and it's been coming out of my account, and I've got 150 books. I couldn't need any more books, so why do I keep doing it? Are you having a conversation with your partner about it as well? Because they could have the same issue and not paying attention. So now that's £120 a month. That's 2 weeks worth of meals. Depending on how many kids we've had, it's 2 weeks worth of meals. But are you looking at your finances and working it out? Might you have to sit down with your partner and work out long-term goals and ambitions for the relationship? So you might be struggling financially here and have to take a step back in what you're spending, and step back in your lifestyle, so you're living to accordance, so you can save and put money aside for a rainy day. But you also might have to upskill yourself and get a better job, a more higher paying job. You might have to go to university, you might have to do short courses, and that goes for the man and the woman in the relationship. Because I know in a relationship, a lot of people saying traditional men and women, but if it's a traditional a male and female relationship from back in the 50s where the man's the breadwinner, we don't live in that time no more. Unless you're earning £70,000 a year, you're not in that. The average income for someone in the UK is like 24k. So you both need to be going to work. Obviously, if you can bring down your expenses and you can live one person at home, then by all means. But obviously the issue is you're not making enough money. So you need to bring down your expenditure and upskill yourself so you can have more income coming in. And that's officially taking responsibility of your relationship, because now you're setting long-term goals to own a house, to buy a car, to do whatever you want to do.
And seek advice. If you don't work,
seek professional advice.
My partner is always minimizing my feelings. That's a hard one. Sometimes when people minimize our feelings, it's almost like they're invalidating how we feel, and that can be emotionally damaging, because I feel like I'm going crazy now. I know that you've upset me, I know that this is how I feel, and you're not giving me that compassion or that empathy, and you're just dismissing it. That's got to be one of the worst feelings ever. But just know that you're not crazy. You're entitled to feel how you feel, and you need to start setting boundaries and having these conversations. That it's not just the fact that it's not just the fact that it's a difference of opinion, it's that you're totally dismissing and being dismissive of how I feel.
Yeah. I feel it's one of my pet hates at the moment is the fact that a lot of women call men narcissists, and men have always called women crazy. That's like a fact of the matter, but it's coming more. So we're going around calling each other names for no apparent reason. We're minimizing each other's feelings. So by me calling you crazy, like crazy B, that's minimizing how you're feeling. Why is she upset? What have I done to her? What is she feeling to make her react in a way where I'm calling her crazy? And because I'm not feeling it, she's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't accept your feelings.
Yeah.
So obviously that's coming from that point of view. And
but also telling somebody that they shouldn't be feeling that way. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to be feeling. You can't tell me that I'm not supposed to be feeling sad or I'm not supposed to be feeling hurt. How can you tell me how I'm supposed to be feeling? Yeah. You should never do that you should never dismiss anybody's feelings because they're different to your own.
Especially your partner and children. Like, that can make your children bottle up, and as we know, a lot of men struggle to talk as well. So when we're talking to our children and telling our boys especially, man up, don't cry, do this. Every time you tell them that, you're creating an environment where they're unable to, and it will take years of therapy, years of coaching to get them out of that and be able to verbalize the issues that they're really facing. So don't minimize anyone's. And people, if you feel like someone's minimizing how you feel, you take responsibility of how you're feeling, especially in a relationship. If it's outside of a relationship, it doesn't matter. But if you feel like your partner's minimizing you, calling you crazy, calling you a narcissist, I don't know if that works for narcissists, but calling you crazy, you're over the top, why are you always upset? You need to sit down and have the discussion, because the relationship might not be working out the way you want it to be, because they're not willing to accept you for who you are. Unless you're unhappy with it, and then you need to seek therapy. And professionals are needed. I think that's a problem in our community. In this day and age, we're seeing more and more mental health, but less and less of us are actually seeking proper therapy. Number four? Number five.
My partner hasn't asked me to marry him. Or I've put him because
men are expected to ask him.
Yeah.
But responsibility. Ladies, gentlemen, whoever wants to listen to me, just ask him to marry you if you want to get married. They can only say yes or no. What's the worst that can happen? Women, we're living in a modern woman's age where we're empowering you to do what you want, how you want to do it. So take the leap. I know everybody wants a traditional, but we're not living traditional relationships. So,
I agree, but I disagree at the same time. I don't think that I would ever be able to get down on one knee and ask you to marry me.
Yeah, again, traditions, isn't it? Don't need to do the whole one knee stuff if you don't want to. Again, we're trying to live traditionally, untraditionally. We had children before. No, not going to get into that. But yeah. But we, yeah, women, just do it. I can't think of a better time than now. If you love somebody and if you appreciate them and they appreciate you and you feel like you want to be married, don't wait for them. Don't be scared of what they're going to say, because the man might be feeling the same way. Or...
well, why don't you ask them? Are you going to propose to me?
yeah, have the discussion.
Yeah, I don't think I could get down on one knee.
Don't think you get down on it. Well, if there's any other women out there that don't think they can get, please tell me different, okay? I'm quite happy to change my mind, which I probably won't. But if you're happy, the comment box is there. Please let us know what your opinions are on it. But I fully think if you want something, you go for it. So if you want a better job, you go for it.
Yeah, I
if you want to get
totally
fit.
agree.
So
I
one
just
thing
don't
in life,
feel like I would be able to ask you to marry me.
Yeah, well, think of all the pressure that us men have to deal with on a regular basis. And
think about all
don't
the
appreciate
pressure that
it,
us women have to go
what?
through.
What do you not have to do with? Hey, you know, I'm married for no reason. But
Lou, Chloe, come on, chime in.
Man.
Are you gonna ask your man to marry you? Let me know.
Well, either way, I think you lot should man up and ask him to marry you.
Man up. You just said that we can't keep
I'm
using
talking
the
to a
phrase
woman.
man up.
I'm talking to a woman.
How about woman up?
Woman up. Yeah, woman up. Woman up
Man
and
up,
ask
please.
him to marry you. Or, like Tanina said, have the discussion about marriage. Let's talk about marriage and where we want to go with it. And
Chloe said nope. No, baby Chloe.
Well, that's your opinion, isn't it? But we'll see. We're going to have to see if we can get you to ask him. That's Selina's going to talk to you every day. You go for a walk. She's going to talk to you and you're going to ask him to marry you.
He has to ask. Yeah, I think it's hard for a woman to ask a man. I'm all for it. If you can do it, more power to you.
Mm.
But just me personally, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So what I'll take from that, ladies, is you're going to die lonely.
No, you're not. I need to have a conversation and
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
is it on the
It's all jokes
cards?
aside. Yeah, is it on the cards? Have a conversation with your partner, work out the relationship, and get a feeling, and let your feelings be known then that you want to be married.
Yeah.
Because he might be there thinking, this girl doesn't want to be married. She's happy the way it is.
Leave little hints.
Yeah.
Give ring size.
Yeah, roses on the bed,
Dresses. That's not
a
hints.
charger on the floor, you know, little hints. Just, yeah, keep him happy if you want to be married, alright? What's the time? See how long we've been on for?
20 past.
20 past. So before we wanted to go, that's the 5 questions that we picked. Before we wanted to go, we wanted to give you a couple of exercises. Well, one exercise to do with your partner. So I know a lot of people talk about vision boarding on their own and putting their dreams and aspirations for where they want to be, how much they want to earn. But are you doing it as a couple for your family? How often do you sit down with your other half and say, this is how many children I want to have in the future? If you're at the beginning of a relationship with no children, or how many children more do you want if you're at another part of your relationship? Where do you want to go financially? Where do you want to live in the future? What car do you want to own? How can I help support you be what you want to be? How can you help support me?
We actually did one a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
We sat down together and we both had the laptop each. And do you remember, we picked our favourite holiday destination, where we would want to live, where our holiday homes would be.
Yeah.
And they were very similar. Without us looking at each other, they were very similar. That's quite a fun activity to do as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know if you can see the board next to Selina. So that's our incomplete. We don't want you to give you an eye into what we do, but That's our Better Together, our vision board. So we work on personal growth, where we want to be personally, where our business, as we run a business together, how we're going to become financially free, our wedding plans, July 24th, people.
Oh, we remember the date. You remember the date?
Yeah, it's only the next day, isn't it? We'll talk about it all today. And our vision for our health, because our health is important. And we're always on a health journey, whether it be physical, mental, or emotional well-being. So with your partners, we can put this up, or you could watch the video, because the video will be still on our Facebooks for the near future. Go onto it, talk to your partner this week, pick a subject today. How about that? On Monday, you're going to talk about your personal growth and how you can help each other grow together and where you want to be in your life. On Tuesday, you're going to talk about your business visions. So you might not run a business together, but do you want to have a side hustle to earn money on the side? How can you work together to put that side hustle on? Financial freedom. That's like we spoke about already, which is savings and budgeting. How can you make the best out of what you have? Obviously, ours is wedding planning now, but going forward, that will change to something else. Maybe be the holiday home or something like that. So how can we work towards a holiday home, and where do we want to go? And our health board. So where do we want to be weight-wise? Where do we want to be mentally wise? We're pushing each other to get better educated, to be more helpful and open towards each other and sharing. So people, I hope today's relationship responsibility has been as good as it has been for me. I feel like I've released.
Why have you got glasses on?
Because I look cool. What? I need glasses, people.
He has never been to the opticians in his life.
She's hating on me. But you know, it's just good, yeah. You know, it's been a lovely day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great weekend.
Happy Friday, guys.
Happy Friday. See you later. Yeah.